Hey guys, Big Weir, roadrooter.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of coffee. Yes, I'm very excited that Clif High has a new report out. I bought it right here. It's called Sparks. You should get it. Go to halfpasthuman.com and you can buy it right down here. It's right there. You can buy it. It's 99 bucks. What a bargain, my friends. What a bargain. Especially if you're into cryptos or silver or kind of confused about the timing and everything. That's first thing he starts off is 3 or 4 pages just on timing. So I know everybody worries about timing. When's this stuff going to happen? Cliff gets in more into when's it going to happen according to the data and why is it going to happen, which is really exciting. Some of the things he covered, I took a couple notes. Again, timing of certain moves, which absolutely I agree with him on certain things coming up in October, November, and certain things you need to be looking for. The changes in government regulations and the implementation of regulations will be coming to the crypto sphere. He talks about subspaces within the cryptocurrencies going to certain areas like in advertising and chain technology and gateways and the Internet of Things. Really interesting stuff. Gives a couple hints as to what he thinks will be the big movers. He mentions one of my favorites, which is AdX. I've always been a fan of theirs, and they're one of those first movers in the advertising, cleaning up the advertising world. So if you have cryptos, you always want to have some of that. Then he gets into a bunch of new coins, new ICOs that are coming out, or newly introduced coins. Very interesting stuff. I haven't heard of any of them, so I'm digging into those. But he does give a big, long 4 or 5 pages on the old coins. We're talking Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, EOS, Ethereum, Litecoin, Neo, Populous, Ripple. Veritasium has some amazing things to say about Veritasium. I know you Veritasium guys have been just kind of like, where are we? Where are we? What's happening? Stuck in a rut. Lots of good things going to happen to Veritasium. He breaks down the timing of all this stuff. And then he gets into our favorite, silver. And there is amazing. Silver's been an amazing story for a long, long time. I know some silver bugs who were waiting for the silver breakout back in the early 1980s when the old Hunt brother, quote unquote, corner of silver was going on. That was a ridiculous story. Absolutely fabricated story. If the Hunt brothers had 100 million ounces of silver and they called that a corner, what are they saying about JP Morgan's 600 million ounces of silver? That's what I want to know. But yeah, amazing stuff. A great report. Go to halfpasthuman.com, buy it for 99 bucks. Click purchase the report right there. And then you can get your hands on Sparks. I feel like the guy in Jerk, Nathan R. Johnson. The new phone book's here. The new phone book's here. Cliff's report is awesome. And I'm going through a full analysis of it, and we'll be releasing something on Friday for the Friday road trip people. If you're a member of the Road to Ruta, it's the Road to Ruta analysis of Cliff's work. I don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of it gives me hints as to timing on when some of the Road to Ruta stuff is going to happen. So, yeah, very exciting time, especially if you're in the cryptos over this next 6 months. And for me, I'm more focusing on the companies that I have already invested in. We're seeing a lot of the ICOs fizzle out, not die, just people want to go to the latest and greatest thing, so they'll jump in an ICO, then they'll try to sell everything they have and then move it over here. And at the beginning, that was a pretty good strategy, but I don't think it's a very good strategy anymore. So now it's let's look 6 months out. What are going to be the Amazons and the Yahoos and maybe not Yahoo, the Amazons and the Googles and the Facebooks of the world, and they're out there right now in the cryptocurrencies, trading in tokens, and which is going to be the strongest, most powerful cryptocurrency. Still a lot of good things going on with Litecoin. I'm a big fan of Litecoin. But Cliff goes into some other ones that I hadn't even thought about the angle on them. And he does mention the thing I've been jumping up and down about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and whatever other splits. Again, nobody knows which one's going to come out to be the real Bitcoin. So I just stay away from all that. I'm staying away from it. I like Litecoin for my cryptocurrency, and I like these companies with tokens that will be used in the near future, and some are being used right now. Salt is looking to come out with the first product in November, I think, December timeframe, which is huge. I mean, we're talking a couple months away, and I'm a big fan. It's very volatile right now because there's people who want out that got in cheap, and people who want in who have big bucks, but the volumes aren't there that they could buy. So, and there's people messing with the price on either Delta because that's pretty much the only decent sized exchange that it's traded on. Same as Veritasium. I mean, they take the best ones. They're like, oh my God, we can't put this out to the public. You know, it might go supernova on us. So that's it. Make sure you buy Clif support. Let's do a quick run through of Zero Hedge. See what we got. Again, Vegas, so many questions, so many new things popping up that it is very clear that there wasn't just one shooter. There were lots of shooters, and this old guy could not have handled that equipment. A lot of military guys coming out and said, I couldn't even handle that equipment when I was in the best shape of my life for more than, a minute or two, and this guy was just firing away. No. A lot of people saw the shots coming from the fourth floor. So basically, they're lying to us again. Oh, wonderful. I don't know what the true story is. I've yet to see a weird thing, with 500, 600 people injured and 60 people dead. I've yet to see an interview with someone, who had been shot. Where are the interviews of the 500, 600 people who had been shot and did not die? I haven't seen one interview. None. Zero. That's weird. That's very odd. Where are the hospital bed interviews? Things like that. I'm sure they'll come up with one or two, but, I mean, families should be at the hospital taking video. Oh, my daughter survived and here she is and things like that. I haven't seen anything. So a lot of questions around this stuff. But we'll see. Like I said, 2 weeks. It's hard for even to take 2 weeks when the really shaky stuff starts coming out. Like, it was clear that there was another shooter on the fourth floor. If you listen to all the police radio stuff, they're all saying, "Oh, it's the lower floors. I see the gunfire coming out the window." Well, there you go. So the official story is not the real story once again, and that does not mean people did not die. I have no doubt that a lot of people probably died and probably got shot. I just want to see some video footage of people who were in recovery mode so that they could tell exactly what happened, exactly how they got shot. Was it a ricochet? What happened? I don't want to hear eyewitness stories. I want to hear injured victims saying, which there should be thousands of videos out there. I haven't seen any. Moving on. Let's see. Let's go to Trump's tax cuts. I don't think Trump will get away with anything anymore. I think the deep state is not going to let him try to fix anything. I don't think he's really trying to fix anything anymore. His comments about forgiving the debt of Puerto Rico were spot on. It's $74 billion that Wall Street's going to have to swallow. He said that yesterday, and he called. And it was Geraldo who was interviewing him, and he's like, "Yeah, your friends on Wall Street are going to have to swallow that debt." And he said, "I don't know if it's Goldman Sachs or his." I love that he said, "Your friends on Wall Street," because we know these guys are bought and paid for, all these news anchors. But yeah, it's $74 billion write-off for the banksters and pension funds. And I know that the Puerto Rican debt, or the coast, where are we? The debt had dropped like 15%, I believe. So yeah, very interesting time. Tillerson, NBC is all over the bad. I think NBC and CBS are starting to take over the CNN role, trying to stir crap, because I've been seeing them a lot lately. And they're saying Tillerson is out, and Tillerson's like, "What are you talking about? No, I'm not out. Get out of my face." Nigel Farage blasts the EU over Catalonia. What is Europe going to do about Catalonia? I mean, how does a a part of a country in the EU split off? What will they use as money? The EU is not going to support them. Are they going to invent their own currency, and how will they allocate it? And there's just so many. Yeah, one thing saying yes, I'm going to break away. I want a free nation. We're free people. It's one thing to do that and vote for it, but it's another thing to actually make it happen. And what happens to everything? I mean, who's going to pay with what money? The government has no money, so what are are they going to create their own money? Are they out of the EU? What happens to all their debt? What happens to all the contracts that are written in euros that are with Catalonia? It's a mess. My God, I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to do it. But I think the idea is to make it a mess, and there is no saving the European Union. So at some point, all these countries are going to have to go out on their own anyway. Hopefully, they're already planning for that. So I believe they are. Equifax Elizabeth Warren gets in the face of Equifax CEO. I think the biggest thing about the Equifax deal of losing all that data was all Social Security numbers and people's information with that. Social Security is a huge deal. It was the way in the road to Ruta theory through the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. It was the way to reallocate money after the banks crash, according to their Social Security balances. And those are compromised, and we're not sure who owes what, who bought into Social Security with what. Then that leaves a huge mess as far as the transition. So we'll see what happens there. There's the Puerto Rico bond crash, and slumped after Trump said debt needs to be wiped out. They were already bankrupt, and they were looking to restructure like $74 billion in debt, and now Trump's saying no. I mean, truthfully, let's be honest. They could never pay it back. Never, ever, ever. It's just restructure so that the banks don't have to write it off right away. Well, now it looks like they're going to have to write it off right away, because Trump can easily say no. They don't have to pay it. That's what do you think Trump did with all his bankruptcies? No, I'm not going to pay that, and put it in a bankruptcy remote entity and walk away and open a new hotel. But that's playing their game by rules that they don't like you playing, but that it's part of the rules. Yes, Puerto Rico doesn't have to pay back anything. Let the buyer beware. And Puerto Rico has no income anymore. That's the other thing. How are they going to rebuild their country when they have nothing? There's nothing that Puerto Rico can do anymore. It was all wiped away. They have no tax base, and they have nothing. There's no there there. It'll be interesting what happens to Puerto Rico, but blaming Trump for Puerto Rico is ridiculous. CNN tried to do that. It pretty much got dispelled right away. So we'll move on. Yes, I'm moving on because there is no answer for Puerto Rico. Let's see. UK investors ready to turn Libya into Dubai after they clear away dead bodies. The UK Foreign Secretary likens the city of Gaddafi's field execution to the next Dubai as Al-Qaeda leaders in business suits stand ready to attract Western investment. Guy cracks me up, that UK Boris Johnson guy. Who knows what's going on really behind the scenes in all this stuff. And I'm just going to shake my head on that one. Fed is a slave to the S&P 500. Kevin Warsh is he's one of the Fed guys. He knows exactly what's going on. Would he do what is required, which is destroy the dollar and return to a sound form of money? I don't know. Somebody within the Fed has plans for that, but I don't know which side he's on. Probably he's not on the side of. I don't think Yellen was on anybody's side. I think Yellen was a pawn. Let's see what it says. Rather than admitting they're wrong, this groupthink of academics, led by Larry Summers, that's a bad guy right there, who failed to predict the current economic malaise, have constructed this theory to explain why ever more stimulus is required. In particular, Warsh warned the Fed had become a slave to the S&P. Well, yeah, but you can't get out of it. The idea is to destroy the system now, completely destroy it. Run up the debt as high as possible because there's no way to pay it off. You might as well pull the Band-Aid and get it over with. All right, here it is. Catalonia to declare independence from Spain on Monday. I want to see if it says how in the world they can possibly do that. Yes, they can declare independence, but okay, what are they going to do for a means of exchange? What are they going to do with all the contracts that are written and ongoing? What are they going to do with the euro? There's no contracts between Catalonia and Europe. And Spain, Catalonia was the cash cow of Spain. So what's Spain going to do now? Have to go back to the EU and say we need more money because our biggest, 20% of all our money came from this little part of northern Spain. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. They're going to announce it, and then all hell might break loose in the EU. It's my take. Angry Trump blasts fake news media for Puerto Rico coverage. Yeah, it's not fake news. It's they're purposely trying to blame Trump for absolutely anything and everything, which is crazy. And yep, that's it. Crazy stuff going on these days. If you're in the cryptocurrencies, we're headed for some exciting times. Don't forget to buy Clif's report. It's only $99, and he does give time frames and things to look for during those time frames of when the next crocodile tooth is coming. And buy it, and you'll know. This is Big Swear. We'll talk to you later.